Men, let me tell you the cold truth. Women don't miss the man who begs, who chases, who explains himself to death. They miss the man who doesn't bend, the man who walks away with his dignity intact. Women are addicted to strength and haunted by absence. They don't lie awake thinking about the guy who did everything for them. They lie awake thinking about the man who stayed mysterious, who didn't flinch when she pulled away, who kept his frame no matter how hard she tested him. And this is where Stoicism comes in. The ancients weren't talking about modern dating when they preached discipline, detachment, and power over emotion, but guess what? These principles hit harder in relationships today than ever before. If you want to make her miss you badly, not for a day but for months, maybe even years, you need to master these 4 Stoic principles. This isn't about manipulation. It's about reclaiming masculine power in a world that keeps trying to strip it away. Point 1. Emotional self-control. Nothing destroys attraction faster than emotional weakness. When she yells, when she cries, when she plays the victim, you know what she's really doing. Testing your frame. She wants to see if she can move you like a puppet. Most men fail because they overreact. They argue, they defend themselves, they try to fix her emotions. But the man who stays calm, who doesn't rise to every bait, who keeps his voice steady and his decisions firm, he becomes unforgettable. Women will never admit this out loud, but their respect and desire are tied directly to how unshaken you are under pressure. They don't miss the man who cracked and sent long text messages begging for forgiveness. They miss the man who could stand in silence, who walked away instead of fighting a losing battle, who didn't let their storm control his peace. You want her to miss you. Control yourself, not her. Because when she realizes she can't break your calm, she'll replay that moment in her mind over and over. That's when the missing begins. Point 2. Indifference to validation. Women are used to men worshipping them. Compliments, likes, heart emojis, constant attention, it's background noise for her. What she's not used to is a man who doesn't feed her ego, a man who doesn't jump every time she posts a selfie, a man who can go days without stroking her with words. That kind of indifference cuts deeper than any insult, because it tells her one thing: I'm not like the rest. And here's the Stoic truth: your value is not in her approval. You don't need her validation to breathe, to feel worthy, to know your place as a man. When you embody this principle, women feel it. She'll laugh louder to get your attention. She'll dress sexier to see if you notice. And when you still don't flinch, when you still don't validate her every move, she'll go home frustrated, confused, and obsessed. Because women don't miss what they own. They miss what they can't control. Stop feeding her validation, and you instantly make her crave it from you. That craving turns into missing, and that missing turns into her chasing. Point 3. Detachment from outcomes. Most men live for the outcome. Will she text back? Will she choose me? Will she love me forever? That desperation leaks through every word, every action. Women can smell it. And nothing kills desire faster than a man obsessed with the result. But the Stoic man, he plays the game without needing to win. He invests in himself, not in her reaction. He understands that women come and go, but his discipline and mission remain. That kind of detachment is terrifying to a woman. Why? Because she realizes you can live without her. And women only miss the men who can live without them. Here's the paradox. The less you care about the outcome, the more she invests in creating one with you. She'll start chasing the man who never begged for her time, who never cried for her love, who never collapsed when she pulled away. That's the man who haunts her thoughts when she's lying in bed at night. Detachment is power. Detachment makes her miss you because she knows losing you means you won't come back. Point 4. Living for your mission, not her. Here's the bitter truth. The more you revolve around a woman, the faster she gets bored. Women don't miss men who made them the center of their universe. They miss men who had a universe bigger than them. A mission, a purpose, a vision so strong that no amount of beauty or sex could derail it. Think about history: kings, warriors, builders, leaders. Women chased them, not because of their looks, but because their mission was larger than life. And when those men were absent, women ached for them because they were irreplaceable. You can't replace a man who's on his mission. You can only admire him from the sidelines. So here's the law. Put your mission above her. Build your body, your business, your discipline, your empire. When she realizes she's not your world, but just a part of it, she'll either step up or step aside. Either way, she'll miss you every second you're not around because your presence has weight and your absence has gravity. Point 5. Mastery of silence. Silence is the weapon most men don't know how to use. Women thrive on words. They want to pull emotions out of you, force you to explain, justify, and defend yourself. That's why they argue endlessly, why they send those long midnight texts, why they poke and prod just to get a reaction. But the Stoic man, he knows the power of shutting up. When you stop explaining yourself, when you don't respond to every accusation, when you go silent instead of fighting, suddenly she's left with her own thoughts. And trust me, her mind will eat her alive. She'll replay the silence. She'll question what you're thinking. She'll wonder if you've moved on, if you've found someone better, if you even care anymore. Silence forces her to miss you because silence is louder than any argument. When you refuse to engage, you prove you're above her games. And women can't stand it. They can handle your anger, your begging, your tears, but they cannot handle your indifference. Silence is power. Silence makes her restless. Silence makes her crave the sound of your voice again. And that's when she starts missing you more than ever. Point 6. Scarcity of presence. The more available you are, the less value you have. That's not just women, it's human nature. But with women, it's amplified. If she can see you anytime, call you anytime, hang out with you anytime, you've become background noise, predictable, safe, boring. But when you limit your presence, when you're not always around, when she can't reach you whenever she wants, suddenly your stock rises. Scarcity creates value. This is why she misses the man who's busy chasing his mission more than the man who's always available on the couch. She'll say she wants more time, more attention, more energy. But deep down, she only respects and desires the man whose time is rare, whose attention must be earned, whose presence feels like a privilege, not a guarantee. When you're scarce, every moment with you becomes unforgettable. And when you're gone, that void makes her miss you with an intensity she'll never admit out loud. Point 7. Control over desire. Most men are slaves to their lust. They chase women like their oxygen. They let beauty, curves, and sex control their entire lives. But the Stoic man flips the script. He enjoys women, yes, but he's never enslaved by them. His desire is under control, and that terrifies women, because women are used to being the prize. They're used to men losing their composure at the sight of them. But when you show restraint, when you're not begging for intimacy, when you treat sex as something you allow, not something you beg for, you instantly flip the power dynamic. And here's the bitter truth. Women miss the man who didn't worship their body because that man stood out. That man had control. That man made them question their own value. And when a woman questions her own value around you, she becomes addicted. She obsesses. She misses you more than she's ever missed anyone else. Control your desire, and you control the game. Lose control, and you'll always be the one chasing. Men, listen. If you want her to truly miss you, not for a moment, not for a week, but in a way that haunts her, you need to live these Stoic principles every single day. Control your emotions. Stop feeding her validation. Detach from outcomes. Live for your mission. Master silence. Create scarcity. Control your desire. These are not tricks. They're not manipulations. They're laws of masculinity. And the moment you embrace them, you stop chasing women and women start chasing you. You want the truth. Women don't miss the men who gave them everything. They miss the men they couldn't break, the men they couldn't own, the men they couldn't control. Be that man.